another episode of the Straight from the Horse's Mouth here, getting all the info out to Gallatin County residents. We've got with us today Mike Hampton. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Running for Magistrate, Glencoe Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, District 3.
District 3. We've got a primary coming up on May 19th, and just a general purpose here. We want to invite you out, tell the folks why you're running, what's on your mind, and kind of what your motivations and ideas are.
I'll be glad to do that. Well, I come down here, was born and raised in Covington, in a kind of rough neighborhood. I was like, this ain't for my kids. And I have a friend of mine lived down here, and you probably know him, the Bishops, and I hunted with him, fished with him for years, grew up with him, and I like the area. I said, you know what, I'm getting out of the city, and I'm headed that way because I believe this area would be better for my kids to grow up in, and it's just a better, all in all. But I was in the military, went in 1978, got out in, I think it was early 83. I was, went to basic in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, took my AIT there, and then permanent duty station in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, got out of that. Of course, I was a fire direction center. I didn't see anything, prospering out in the world for that. So I joined a couple buddy of mine, started painting, and worked with them for a while. And then I ran into a fellow in Cincinnati, Ohio. He said he wanted to start a minority business, a black fellow. I said, okay, I can give you a hand. He said, it's going to be tough at first. Well, I met him at GE painting. We ended up building that business into like a $4 million a year business.
Wow.
That was a DEI, inclusion. I pretty much used my knowledge, and he used his knowledge as the money and business part, and we grew real big. I worked with them all the way up until 2015. He had died in 99, and the owner asked me what I thought. I said, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, they got their own ideals, and I didn't see it going the right way, so I left out of there, went to the union, worked for the union, immediately supervising big jobs, which right now we're just wrapping up one over convention center in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just like there, I believe if I'm going to do something and put my name on it, there's going to be integrity behind it. Just like down here.
Mike, not to cut you off, I think you might need to talk into the mic a little more because I feel like we're kind of cutting in and out.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, like down here, when I moved down here, I seen some opportunities. I joined Glencoe Fire Rescue, under Bud Webster. Got some good training, that's volunteer. Never made any money for it, but I believe in community service, public trust, all that. So I'm still an active member as of now. I believe 2013, I went and took my EMTs. Then I joined Gallatin County EMS, run with them all the way throughout COVID. Got done with that, and I figured I'd still stay in public service. So as of right now, I'm a deputy jailer with Paulo over here, the county. But throughout all them periods, when I first came down, I joined Glencoe City Council. I was on there while I was appointed, taking somebody's place. Did that for 4 years and seen, a lot of improvements can be done down here. So I'm going to run for mayor. So I ran for mayor, got that. Did my first term. Throughout the first term, you're learning everything. Takes a while to get used to it. Didn't have a lot of money to work with, so I focused on getting things done, especially cleanup. That's the worst thing I've seen when I, moved into town. Let's get this place cleaned up. Let's get some ordinances made, and let's get it taken care of. And then I took a second term, went throughout that, and pretty much, got the money up there. Of course, you can't win them all. But no, I believe, I think with my experience and the knowledge of the people of Glencoe and the constituents out there, I think I got a little bit of experience that they can trust, because everything I do, I'm going to do with integrity. Going to be honest about everything, and I believe my leadership skills are there to do the job.
What kind of issues do you think there are in the district there in Glencoe and Veterans Memorial that you'd like to see addressed, or what are the issues right now?
Well, what I see, they could use a lot newer businesses, more business down there, a better tax base, because of course, that's where your taxpayers' money is spent on your improvements and everything. Like right now, I see Mark Wilson as the mayor. He's doing a good job of working with the state of trying to get these ditches and trenches cleared out, which was a problem, and some of the water lines. I could see, they need to work a little more with them to get this water situation straightened out, because it kind of happens every other year or every 2-3 years, and I don't know if it's the incoming water or how the two districts work together, but there could be improvements there. But definitely revenue, business. I'd like to see more business there up the intersection.
So that is a hot topic for Glencoe. Dollar General, correct? Possibly coming in, I think.
I've heard that. Usually you see a Dollar General, you get
You got the Family Dollar, you can expect a Dollar General coming.
Yeah, you got the Family Dollar, and you'll see a Dollar General come in.
Okay,
it's
so
like down here.
You would love to see that happen, to get that tax revenue for
Yes,
the
and
city of Glencoe.
also it's closer for the residents. I mean, Family Dollar is just one, but that gives you another alternative to check out,
Since you've been in the mayor's office there, is there money that is collected by Glencoe from those businesses?
Yes.
Yeah, they have a city tax.
So,
Yes.
so there,
City tax, yeah.
so that's really the best way for Glencoe to get money,
Yeah.
as opposed to fighting the county for it.
Yeah, but also there's state grants. If
Yeah.
you know how to work with that, you can get things done, which we did. I had all the streets repaved when I was in, and they were having problems with sidewalks. And I seen that opportunity with the transportation when they offer them TAP grants. Say, hey, right there you go. Let's start moving on the sidewalks. And I believe they've just about got most of them done, but there's still more improvement down there to be done.
So
Still more.
that's something that I thought was interesting. You talked about running the city of Glencoe as mayor,
Yeah.
and there wasn't a lot of money. So
No.
you have experience with working with the city budget there in Glencoe, and which would be directly applicable as magistrate, and working with what funds are available to get the job done however necessary.
Right. Well, like I say, I was in there. Checks kind of bounced the first week I was in there because they failed to file the paperwork correctly. There's a House Bill 413 money that the state gets off of, I believe, the police and all that. Well, in order for you to get that, you got to have your SAM registration done. That wasn't done, and there was an ordinance passed when I was on city council that they were going to use part of that money to pay for the policing, to help out with the county, give the county sheriff money to help policing, and then Glencoe was going to pay the rest. Well, we ended up getting stuck with the whole $14,000 bill, and because they didn't have the proper paperwork filed. That's very important, I would say too, where we can watch that and make sure they're getting the proper money they can get from the state, because the state can help you out a whole lot. And there's a lot out there that they can offer.
Yeah, and you mentioned grants as well.
Yeah.
Every grant there ever is, those are great monies to go after.
Hey, if you can get them taken,
Yep.
But you got to look at the pros and cons too. That's the way I always do it, like business. I started my own painting business. What's the best thing, like this taxes? What's the best things for the people? What's going to help? If it's going to help them, okay. Sometimes you can make a decision where it's not going to be very beneficial, for the taxpayers. But they got to realize that money they're spending is my money, your money, and everybody in this county's money, and it's got to go to make profitable and benefit from them kind of deals.
And
On the topic of taxes, the county, well, according to the newspaper, we've had some conflicting conversations about this, I think. But according to the newspaper, the county's currently discussing how tight the budget is and the possibility of maybe raising a tax or how to move forward, basically potentially raising taxes. I've heard for years that they might create a new tax for EMS or something like that. I don't know how accurate any of that is, but if at some point in the next 4 years that is brought to the table, would you see yourself being in favor of or opposed to a tax increase or a new tax?
As long as they're bringing revenue in, like a business. I hear some talk right now about a AI center supposedly going in at the Speedway, which I hear the state's involved, but I haven't really researched that a whole lot. Say something like that happened, I would think that would give the county sufficient funds to where they could actually support EMS services and the sheriff's services, because from what I've seen as an EMT, we're probably one of the lowest paid out of all counties. And,
I think that might have changed some in the last few years.
It
I
has.
don't know.
It did. It changed more, but there's always room for improvement and equipment. That's very vital to your.
That's something I think we could all agree. Very interested in talking to you about with your experience in that area. What are, is our county's infrastructure in terms of that equipment, is it severely outdated? Is it unusable? I think we've had some recent updates, but what needs to happen there? What are the monies that need to be spent in that area?
It's improving. It's improving. Education for your paramedics and your EMT, better education, which will give a better service. Their equipment's come up extremely since I was in there. They got quite a few more new ambulances and maintenance. Pretty much maintenance, taking care of your equipment and your education for the people, and the time that you're getting from here to the place you need to get to is very important.
Yeah, that I was going to ask. Would you say that the service of EMS has improved?
The
over
response
past,
time?
Yeah, response time and overall service.
Yes, at one time we ran out of Glencoe at night, and that kind of took the northern half, and down here took the southern half. I would like to see maybe another station go in on the northern part of the county where the response time is faster there, and then you got the same response time down here. But generally, they're pretty good.
Do they not run out of the fire station up there on 16 now? Weren't they running a squad out of there for a while?
We was running out of Glencoe.
Okay.
Out of Glencoe Firehouse. And they do got a station up there on 16 now, which we got another engine up there, which saves the taxpayers money.
So is that fire only?
What's that?
That's fire only?
As far as I know.
Okay.
I know they got a voting station up there maybe.
Yeah.
That they're cleaning up now if they haven't vote. But, yeah, as far as I know, it's fire station.
But ultimately, you would like to see EMT services there as well.
I like to see one on the other end of the county, which can be done. I think it, with state money and the right people talking for us, I believe we can get that done.
So you think with the existing budget for EMS, with the same amount of medics, would you just move one over there, or would you?
I would probably move a team over there, for a quicker response.
Okay.
Because, that's critical for the residents.
Can you get grants and stuff for like a whole vehicle, whole ambulance?
Yeah. Bud Webster, he was medical director at the time, and he was great at it. He was able to get the equipment. It's like he filed for the grants, and it was right there. It's just knowing how to do it, know who to go to, and make it happen. That's the thing. You got to make it happen.
You mentioned data center a little bit ago, which has been a hot topic, I think, in a lot of discussions around the county. We have yet to get to the bottom of whether or not that's a real thing that is a possibility. But in the event that it was a possibility, would you think you'd be in favor of a data center coming to add to the revenue, or opposed to it?
I would be in favor if, from what I hear, would be correct, that it would take away school tax and also give money to school children for further education. But then again, these data centers, I've painted one in Harrison, Duke Energy. It's called Silverhawk. Takes a lot of electricity to run them places, providing it doesn't run anybody's bill up to,
You might be the first person that we've had on that's actually. I mean, was this a big data center that you painted?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it was Duke Energy. It's over in Harrison, Ohio.
what was there? Was there a lot of noise, or was I mean, I've always
Was
heard
it
that
op-
they're very noisy. I mean, was it operating when you painted it?
No.
Oh, it
This was
wasn't.
from
Okay.
ground up, and I was there
I
until
got you.
till it was finished.
But that is a close one. I mean, Harrison's not that far.
No, it's not that far, but that's pretty big, and that's mainly for your electrical grids and everything. But this will be an AI, so you're going to have a lot more servers, bigger area, and it's going to take a lot more energy to run that. As long as it don't interfere with anybody's utility bills, them raising our bills to pay for theirs, and it takes a lot of water, from what I understand, to cool them servers. So that, if that burden is put on the AI center, the data center itself, and it's going to benefit the county, I think I would be in favor of it. Like I say, you always weigh out the pros and the cons. Is it going to hurt us putting it in there, or is it going to help us putting it in there?
Those are always tough things to get ironclad.
Yeah.
If that's they're there permanently.
Get it
Hold
in
them
writing.
to, you're not going to use all our water. You're not going to use all our electric. And you're
Right.
going to pay a very hefty tax bill.
Oh yeah. That's a lot of energy. I know, I've seen them.
And that does seem to be the enormous pro. They could generate a very large sum of money into our
Yes.
county. And
On that, I've wondered if there's any other examples where they're building data centers or have built data centers where they've collected the tax revenue that we've heard floated around here.
So I've heard there's some place in Virginia that's like data center capital of the world.
I've heard of that.
They've got like 10 of them in one county or so. It's crazy. And what I've heard of that place is if you want to know what not to do, go visit them. Because I guess evidently the local regulations, the taxing, everything was so favorable that everybody flocked there. That's why they have 10 of them.
So in other words, their residents are not enjoying zero school tax.
I think, as Mike has mentioned, their residents would say the cons have outweighed the pros. Whether they're enjoying no school tax or not, I
Right.
can't speak to that.
Yeah.
But I think you can pretty quickly pull up.
When I hear that there's maybe a scenario where they generate enough tax revenue to essentially alleviate the tax burden off of a lot of the citizens. I just wonder if there is an example of that somewhere where that has happened that we can look at.
I think that's definitely something for us to look into and bring to a show in the near future. I think what we might find is any local government, magistrates, judge, etc., if they demand what is possible of that, they may end up locating the next county over.
Right.
Is what I would.
Which I think most of the people in the county say, if we don't get what we want, then go find somewhere else to
Yeah,
locate.
let them go to Maysville.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we can't benefit from it, and it's no
There's
nothing
no,
there for the
yeah.
public, I mean, you're wasting space.
If you're not jobs, if you're
Yeah.
not tax revenue,
Yeah. I would think they would create some local jobs too, securities, but that's more technical when you get inside. So I don't know if they would, maybe think about graduates from the county,
Yeah.
working with them to further better their career would be nice. I would be asking for that too if they did. Hey, I want some local participation too, even in construction.
Totally agree.
I've
on
seen that. Even in
I think-
construction, you're building a huge facility, and you got the talent right here in the county. So I would ask you to
Couldn't
put that
agree more. I
inclusion.
think that should be included in a lot of deals that
Yeah.
are happening in the county. I think
Absolutely.
there should be some agreement where they're going to hire more people from Gallatin County.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I would love to see, it's continuous conversation about what's going to happen with the Speedway property. If that does end up being developed and jobs do come there, I would love to see our fiscal court at that point in time try to negotiate for, hey, X number of these jobs have got to come from right here in our
Right.
county.
Right.
But
hire some of your local vendors for supplies.
Yep.
You know, concrete, paints, stuff like that. I've seen it. You know, I've done that one time. We was in a job in Vevey, Indiana, when they built a casino, and it was involved in there that you had to use local residents as part of your vendors.
Yeah.
So we now know it is possible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's up to like whoever's making the deal. Say, hey, if we make this deal, this is what I want to see, and I want to stand firm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes a difference, keeping the money in your community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big difference. But in terms of that, in the Speedway, it would be outside of the Glencoe district, but would, as a magistrate, would certainly have a vote on that. Where would your thoughts be on the development that the zoning changes? You know, we've had a lot of talk about it's zoned for horse racing and racing cars, and you know, we've had these meetings lately. Would you think you would support zoning change that would potentially bring business in, or what would your thoughts be on that?
If it benefits the residents, yes, I would support it. Like I said, I'm always pro-con. You know, what is going to benefit the resident taxpayers? You know, they're using our money, you know, and it's our areas. And you just got to remember, too, what you're zoning, what you're bringing in, has got to be for the benefit. Because you can zone a thing in and get a person here, not make a dime off of it, and give them tax-free, you know, business just because they moved in your area.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Yep.
I've seen that. Plus, I think a little bit, I've seen some of it going on, affordable housing, a little more affordable housing for the people, especially if you're bringing in more businesses. You know, make it affordable for the people to live there in order to work there. I mean, I think they're building a new one here in Warsaw, ain't they? Like a new community back there somewhere?
Complex back by
Yeah.
the sports field.
Yeah.
The I think it's senior
Is it senior?
senior
maybe-
apartments. I
Is
think
that
isn't it?
senior? No,
Yeah.
Maybe senior and affordable.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think that there's an age requirement, but if you meet that age threshold, I think that it is very affordable.
Yeah.
It's income based, I believe.
Yes.
That's a good thing,
But-
especially for retiring seniors
Yes,
in the county, which you're getting to the age the baby boomers like me are getting there,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I do think, I mean, that very much a thing. If there could prospectively be new business come in, and we all agree that we would like for that business to employ Gallatin Countyans, they got to live here. You know,
Right.
we have to have housing for them to live.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. If somebody wants something of yours, you got to give something back, you know, especially in the community. You know, there's a lot of people in the community. I believe in, you know, living here. I believe in giving something back, you know, because it's a great place to live. Gallatin County is a good place to live.
yeah, and there's a couple of things. For one, I want to thank you for your service. You mentioned your military service. Thank you for that. And then earlier you were talking about how you weren't born and raised here, but you found it just the way of life here to be valuable, and you wanted to bring your family here and raise your family. Is that something, you know, in your time here, do you see that trending in the right direction? Do you see it trending? Are you happy with where we stand in that regard?
Very much.
That's good.
That's one of the best moves I ever made, was coming down here. You know, it benefited me, it benefited my daughters, and it's all around one of the best experiences that I ever had. You know, people are nice, friendly. Give the shirts off your back. This county's got some of the best people I ever met. You know, the old Judge Executive Clarence is one of the better guys I ever met. Jimmy Etheridge, he'd give you the shirt off his back. These are some great people from a great county, and that's why I would not move from here for no reason at all. I've been asked to sell my property, and I'm like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. Love it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing, would you kind of say an overall moral of you running, you want to fight to see Gallatin County stay the way it is and stay
Yeah.
everything that you believe that it is and
Yeah,
why
I
you
mean,
live here?
you got a great sheriff department now, you know. They keep everybody in line, and, you know, as far as feeling safe, you got no worries there. And then you got a great EMS service, and just keep it up, you know. But yeah, I would encourage anybody, if it's a great place to live, come on down. bring your business if you can.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would certainly like to see more small business.
Absolutely.
Definitely
I'm a big
small.
small business guy.
I am too. I am too. That is the backbone of your community.
And that, we've had all these conversations on the Speedway and that's obviously not going to be small business, but we talked about this about Carroll County recently. If we do have businesses that come, I hope that we can do things that cater to small businesses that service those big businesses.
Right. There's a way to put a percentage on it. Hey, when you're doing construction, we want a certain percentage of our local business contractors to come in here and get some of this. Some of our vendors, like hardware stores supplying stuff. As a matter of fact, I think there's concrete place over here too, isn't there?
Yeah.
Back here?
Yeah.
Hey, supply the concrete out of your local.
Yeah.
That's benefiting your county, benefiting your people. That means a small business owners, I'm a painter. It's hard to get jobs, There's fly-by-nights out there that take them all day long cheaper. But when I go in there, I do a good job and I make sure my name's on it and it's going to last. And I can hire, more locals to help me out in order to, benefit your small businesses. They can always hire more people.
Absolutely.
Am I correct in saying that is the mine, Steele's Bottom, is that in this precinct?
I think you've got it up there on the computer.
Yeah, I was trying to study the whole area because I can't, I've been running around trying to get as much as I
I
can.
don't think the one on Steele's Bottom is.
We're the blue, right?
Yeah, you're the blue, so it looks like Napoleon. Who knows? Veterans Memorial clearly goes over to the river, but I don't know if that would be the mine in Napoleon or.
I don't think it goes. It used to not go down.
It goes
Steele's
Okay,
Bottom.
so
I don't
Napoleon Concord's the other
Yeah.
precinct. Okay.
But that's what we had learned something pretty interesting recently that the mines are actually, as far as contributing to county dollars, they do contribute quite a bit. So
That's good.
that's
That's good.
where you were
Yeah,
going with that.
You got
didn't-
Nucor. They
Yeah.
contribute quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if the constituents there, which they would not be your direct constituents, so we don't
No.
have to press on that issue, I guess, but,
So that's
pretty
another.
hot topic in Steele's Bottom.
That's another thing too. I would talk to my constituents before I would go in and make the vote. I was like, how do you feel about this? Weigh the pros and cons out with them also. Let them. It's their their voice. I would be the voice
Yeah.
for them.
You're their representative.
Right. I want to represent them, not what I feel should be represented.
Yeah.
I'm backing them.
Absolutely.
100%.
All right. Well, how long have we been rolling there, Zeke?
We're about there at our time limit. Have you got any message you'd like to send out to the voters?
Hey, just get out there and vote. May primary, candidate of your choice. It's your decision. That's what the whole process of voting is all about. You may not like me, you might like somebody else. Hey, just get out and vote. That is on the primaries. A lot of people don't vote primaries. It's hard to get them out.
Yeah.
If you can get them out on the primaries, you can do good. But yeah, I'm just saying get out and vote regardless of the candidate you're voting for.
All right.
All righty. Well, Mike, we sure appreciate you coming.
Not a problem. I'm glad
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah.
Glad you asked me.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you very
It's
much.
been a joy learning a little bit about Glencoe, so I appreciate it.
Okay.
Nobody has anything else. I guess we'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.